Here's video number 2. Malcolm will pick up where he left off, talking about the paint, and he's gone over the body repairs in the first video, and now we'll talk more about the mods for TSD rallying.
So what we did is we mounted a Capri gas tank, that's 12 imperial gallons, and it is plumbed in through a solenoid valve. The electric fuel pump is underneath the body. There's also the fuel sender, which goes up to the cabin. It is wired to a fuel gauge. So what we've got is we've got the filler neck, which has been attached to the side of the bodywork. It's a proper Cortina fitment, but it is also held in place with machine screws and nuts rather than just the normal gasket. We've got a tube bumper, and the rear valance has been cut out for diffusion. We've got expanded metal to prevent spray of gravel and debris. The tank is protected by what is called puckboard, which is a flexible plastic. So that's the skid plate for the fuel tank itself. Moving further, this is the floor pan, and you can see it's left as bare metal. Everything has been seam welded. All along here, everywhere there's a seam. The brake lines run inside the car. It's set up as a dual diagonal using a Mazda 323 master cylinder and distribution block. The battery sits on the rear scuttle, bolted down in a battery box and then held in place with 2 long steel rods. It's a 4-point roll bar. It's got the 5-point harnesses. The submarine belts are not installed at the moment, but these are proper racing belts by RCI.
Is the 4-point cage certified or certifiable?
It is certifiable.
Okay.
It was used in another car that was rallied. We've wired in a map reading light that's on a separate switch. The Halda is something I will be keeping. The driver's seat is a fixed back style with lateral support and knee bolster. They're both mounted on the standard Cortina tracks, but they have been modified with 1-inch thick aluminum to mount. Engine compartment cleaned up. The battery tray has been deleted. The strut tops have all been done. That is 3 layers of steel that is welded in place.
The top layer is pop riveted, or is that pop riveted and welded?
No, that is actually welded.
Okay.
He left it domed. There is a fuse panel and relay panel inside of the car. That's on the passenger side kick panel. There is a 1/4-inch thick aluminum skid plate for the engine sump. It's hard mounted to the cross member, cush mounted to the front valance. The CBA Super Oscars and 175s are wired into the high beam circuit and parking light circuits respectively. They are on relays and fused. I did install hood pins just as a precaution. The trunk is also held down with a rubber auxiliary closure. The mud flaps have also been added, front and rear. That is an aftermarket Dino wheel, and it's been adapted to a Cortina aluminum hub. The auxiliary panel is for ignition cutoff and fuel cutoff, respectively. That's the changeover for the fuel pump solenoid. Those are your lighting switches. That's for the electric fan. This is the stock dash with the exception of the Smith's speedometer. I do have the glove box lid for the glove box where the Halda currently resides. I had built an auxiliary console out of aluminum. There is one auxiliary gauge in there already. That's the secondary fuel tank gauge. Underneath the headliner, the roof was painted. The headliner is Scottish wool. That is my family tartan. And it's got a Wink 4-pane mirror. There's a battery cutoff located on the diagonal tube of the roll bar. It switches on the ground side per regulation. There's a fire extinguisher down beside the driver on the floor. There's also one on the floor on the passenger side underneath his legs. There are two mounting points on the the passenger's door for a first aid kit.
All right, let's wrap it up.
I hope it goes to a good home. I hope you're interested in the car. There's lots of bits and bobs that go with it. It's a solid car. I don't think you'll find another example like this.